On October 2nd, that is Mahatma Gandhi's birthday, 2011, the world was witness to over 25 million children saying, "I can." There could be no greater endorsement of Mahatma Gandhi's message of be the change you wish to see in the world. But how did this happen? In 2009, my school, Riverside, conceptualized and promoted the world's largest design thinking challenge, in which children used a simple framework: feel, imagine, do, and share, to design solutions for some of the world's greatest challenges. So from reducing the weight of school bags to caring for the elderly, from tackling bullying to stopping child marriages, they were changing the bad and making it good with the power of their ideas. Stories of change started pouring in from all over the world, from Spain to Bhutan, from Peru to Australia. So it gives me great pleasure to share with you 3 such inspiring stories. The first is a story from the US. 10-year-olds who tackled bullying by posting positive messages for positive change. The second is a heartwarming story from Taiwan about the classmates of a visually impaired child who used their talent to make him get more friends. And the third story is from India, where children raise funds through an auction to get money for physiotherapy equipment and a physiotherapist for the Center for the Physically Challenged. So here is Design for Change. Can we have sound, please?
Constructive idea at the same time. And we can't deal with ideas that are too complicated, they don't travel. But I see this as a wonderful, constructive gift to the school, the community, the nation, and now I learn to many other countries around the world. So here's to Design for Change.
This is our first story.
Our teacher introduced us to the Design for Change contest. He taught us about Gandhi and his words. You be the change you want to see in the world. Even though we are in 5th grade, we learned that we can make small changes which can ripple out to larger circles. We now know that we are more powerful than we first imagined. It's funny with imagination. It's endless. We came up with our slogan of Advertise for Change. Positive messages for positive change. The emphasis is on adding to what we see all around the school. We plan to be the change we want to see in the world.
一直在我身边的你，请让我摸摸你的脸，这边是耳朵。
So they came up with paintings with their buddies.
Are you ready for the auction? Yeah! God must hear you! Are you ready for the auction? Yeah! 2001! 21,002!
That was just amazing to see that they had done everything. It was just touching, very, very touching.
So where did the story start? Let me introduce you to my son, Rag. He was only 6 years of age when in a single stroke, a teacher removed choice from his vocabulary. His crime, he had chosen to write his version of the essay, The Cow. So it got me thinking about choice. From the life-altering to the mundane, we make choices every single day. We can put a man onto the moon, like you just saw, and we choose tea over coffee. But ironically, it is this word that we remove from our children's vocabulary. Not for one day, not for 1 month, not even for a year. But for 15 years of their formative lives, we tell them they have no choice but to listen to what we have to tell them. Consider this. We are the parents who will never take our child back to a doctor that prescribes incorrect medication or gives the wrong diagnosis. And yet, we are those very parents who will continue to take our children back to schools that serve obsolete, redundant pedagogy in the name of education. So I just knew this had to change. But how? I don't come from an education background. Maybe that's a big blessing. So I did not know what the right approach to this was. But I come from a design thinking background, so I really knew what was wrong with the situation. Let me give you some facts. The reality is that in India, we have 200 million children that go to school. Only 18 million graduate college. That means these are the 18 million that get degrees. And yet, out of those 18 million, 90% of our children have unemployable skills to get the job of their desire. That means every single year, we are churning out a staggering number of graduates whose spirits are being crushed by the feeling of helplessness. So this really had to change. So to design an approach to education that would get our kids to go from saying, I can, was what my journey was. So in 2001, I started my school, Riverside. And very quickly it became a lab for prototyping an idea that kept the student at the center of the design process. So over the last 11 years, the focus of the Riverside program every single day is just threefold. One, to get our children to be aware of the world around them. Two, to help them believe they have a role in shaping that world. And three, to basically be able to take action towards a more desirable, sustainable future. So of course, we designed an approach to curriculum which got them excited about the mathematical thinking, the scientific temperament, and the languages. But how did this become common practice at Riverside is my first little snapshot. This is the story of 25 6-year-olds, that is your grade 2 students, who use their skills to be able to conceptualize, design, and launch an audio tour for the city zoo. Here are our children telling us that they are not helpless.
Last year, we had taken some children to the zoo and they said, but ma'am, lovely place, fantastic place, but somewhere, it's for the children and children have done nothing for the zoo. So I said, acha, good idea. What do you think? So do you think children can do something for the zoo?
Yes.
Tell me 2 reasons why.
One reason, because we want to make an interesting place for children. The zoo is made for the children, so children can show the thing what children like, na?
Okay, so what do you think we could do for the zoo?
We can make a comic.
Picture book.
Picture book.
Oh, picture book. That's good. But
Zoo and audio tour.
audio?
Yeah, audio tour. Audio tour. Yeah.
What is an audio tour?
It's like an audio, and you have to listen.
You mean how do you listen?
Like you have to put that headphone.
Okay, okay.
And on it. And some voice will come, and which will guide you throughout your tour.
So they came up with a very brilliant idea.
So they go to meet the commissioner of the city.
And the animals can talk. The animals can show the visitors the zoo.
Get it done.
We want a permission.
Permitted.
Now tell me, if I have to plan an audio tour, what are the things that are really important? Yes, Gandhi.
Ma'am, different committees.
Why?
everybody cannot do everything. So we need to have groups. It's just trained who can do it.
These are 6-year-olds knowing what needs to be done to be able to learn. So all their writing, their math, everything was done in this particular approach. Mapping, sponsorship. So if that was one of the approaches to the academic content, we also got our children to be excited and sensitive towards ethics, excellence, and engagement. You know, the interesting part in education is there is no syllabus for becoming a good human being. You know, if you get a parent, the parent will say, is he doing better in math? I really don't care whether he's becoming empathetic or concerned. But I think in education, the one key ingredient is getting our children to do good and to do well. This is a story of 15-year-olds. They spent the last 75 weeks working with children who were struck with cancer. And the project quickly became a story of self-transformation. The one thing they learned through the experience was this, that you cannot change somebody's life without it changing your own.
In Key Stage 3, one of the main ideas that we are understanding is the idea of persistence.
So they started something called HEAL. And this is not just a one-time, I will go and hold your hand. This is becoming a 5-year journey.
Where we work with children suffering from cancer. When I saw that a child had a tumor in his eye, that image truly bothered me a lot. And that stuck with me. And that changed me.
So they collaborated. This is completely student-run. They work on the website, they work on the promotion, they work on the whole packaging.
We formed a core team and we started working towards that. So we wanted to achieve 3 aims. One was the smiles, which we wanted to see smiles on the children's faces. Second was distraction, because they go through pain, through those drips and injections that go inside their body every single day. We wanted these little tiny moments, happy moments for them in their life. Third was transformation, because their ward is very dull. They have cartoons with no heads. So what we did was we wanted to decorate and make the space more brighter with their own work, which they could see every day in their ward.
So every Saturday for 2 hours, the children spend time with the children with cancer. And they're basically telling us you don't have to be 18 years old to make change happen. All you have to do is start feeling.
So even we also wait to meet them, they wait to meet us. The moment we are entering, they would all come, they would be enjoying and they would smile and they would laugh. And even the parents would, for that much of time, they would be relaxed and they would sit back and just watch their child happy. And that's what even the parents liked about here.
So the mother says that they come here, they make my son's life happy, even if he's here for 5 years. That's a big change. Since I was here for 9 months, nobody came to meet me. And for the first time, I have a voice. And then the kids held an auction to raise money for their program.
Idea for even longer time. And one of the main things that was restricting us was the finance. The best way to raise some funds was to finally put up an auction.
25,500. 30.
So embedded in this particular approach to education is all the 21st century skills that we keep talking about. But for some reason, we still tell them quadratic equation is the most important thing that they have to learn in education. Okay, this is about innovation, empathy, design thinking, play, self-direction. And then the result of this, well, when children do good, they do extremely well. 1 minute, sorry. So the academic results were actually testimony to this. So a lot of our parents said, okay, making children good human beings, okay, all that is great, but what about my math, science, and English? For the last 10 years, Riverside children have been outperforming their peers in the top 10 schools in India academically. So once the children knew this was working, they had to go out. So in 2007, they approached the municipal corporation, they approached the police, they approached the institutions and said, how do you make our cities more child-friendly? Because we are now becoming a society that has more malls than parks. So they imagined this child-friendly city to say that if a city gives back to its child, the child will one day give back to the city. So in 2007, Approach was born, a protagonist in every child. And this was an interesting initiative run entirely by the children and the city. So they're blurring the boundaries between school and life. So 3 small snapshots. The first one is called Parents of the Park. The children went to the municipal corporator of the parks and told them, open up your parks and make them alive with the children's laughter. The second is Moving Experience. They went to the best multiplexes in the city and said, open up your hearts and your doors for every child. So 150 street children go to see cinema in the best places. And the third is Street Smart, where we close down the busiest street for traffic and make it a place for childhood. Here is Approach. So this is the parks. Storytelling, activities, and it's all free and it's all inclusive. Experience. The citizen gives us the bus to take the children to the place. So it's all completely a citizen's initiative. Yes, I came in the luxury bus, and when I saw the city place, I felt so happy. This is Street Smart. Again, all-inclusive for all children. We got the first child-friendly zebra crossing in the world.
I think this is very unique, absolutely first time in Ahmedabad, where the city is giving so much space and time for the children.
I've not seen an initiative which is so unusual and which is so caring about the city.
We must bring this to Spain. So Ahmedabad has become actually India's first child-friendly city. So to wrap it up, it's very simple. What started with my son believing I can't, today has been able to infect 25 million children across the world with I can. I believe the purpose of education really is simply this. Can we help every future generation to have a quality of life that is better than the one today? So I would like to leave you with just this one thought. The future, the 21st century education and the approach to it cannot happen by chance. It has to happen by design, or rather, design for change. And when that happens, this is what our children will have to tell us.
I never thought that I'd be going to so many people and I would be able to talk to them in such a good manner. It was a really good feeling. Yeah, I can do this. Why wasn't I doing it from so long?
I'm disturbing from inside.
I'm totally happy. You can see that smile on my face.
Change is going to be made, that is for sure.
Like he said, change is going to be made. That is for sure. And that's my story. Thank you very much.